Zorro was the project at the studio in 1957. That's what everybody was involved in. Marvin Davis designed the sets. The set was the first standing set built on the Disney lot, on about 6 or 7 acres at a cost of about $500,000, which in late 1950s dollars was a lot of money.
Walt Disney was a big fan of this project, and he supervised every bit of it and pulled out all the stops on it.
The fact that Walt wasn't a TV man and he wasn't used to dealing with TV budgets really worked out to our advantage because he brought film to television.
He was very determined that everything would be like an exact replica of the time, and he was very specific in regards to the wardrobe and the hairstyles and the jewelry and all of that. It was stepping back into a time that I'd only read about.
Walt was very involved at the earliest stage of the show. At the time the series actually got on the air, he was very busy. He had Disneyland, he had the Mickey Mouse Club. So he really turned it over to a team that he was comfortable with.
This was kind of the Disney formula. Disney loved to have all of these elements in his productions. Norman Foster was also instrumental in casting the show. Prior to Guy Williams, the public's last Zorro was Tyrone Power. Power was a good Zorro, but I always felt that Guy Williams was a little bit better Zorro.
Next time, you may not be so lucky, Comandante.
Foster helped make some changes with the Don Diego character.
Don Diego! Sergeant, what are you doing here at this hour?
Walt Disney's dedication was to excellence, so the finished product to him was everything.
Each episode of Zorro cost approximately $78,000, 39 episodes a season. And those were shot on a 5-day schedule, which was really extravagant for that period of time, and it really shows. It has a real film look to it.
What impressed me the most about the show was the fact that the actors all worked together so well. They were a true ensemble, and so the whole air on the set was that of adventure and fun.
The casting of Guy Williams was incredibly crucial to the success of the show. He really had a personality for that character.
Henry Calvin was a jovial human being. When he would enter a room, the belly would kind of come in first.
Henry Calvin had been on Broadway. He was an operatic singer, and he played comedy very well. Although he was working for the villains, he was not a villain himself. He was somebody that you just usually felt sorry for because he would...
I have a genuine affection for Sergeant Garcia, Padre. Ed Hardy's a good man.
Gene Sheldon was originally a vaudeville actor and a clown and a mime.
Gene Sheldon, who was Bernardo.
The blind man went on, and you followed.
They used to tease each other all the time. Guy Williams would say, you know, I should get your paycheck too because I have to do all your lines too.
George Lewis, who was cast as his father, was also a very solid performer.
The Indians are torn from their families and forced into slave labor, all for the benefit of one man, Capitan Monasterio.
Burt Loman's Captain Monasterio is just wonderful.
Nothing shall stop me from being the richest man in all of California. What are you doing here? It's good to have the whole picture, no?
It was almost a combination Laurel and Hardy, Abbott and Costello kind of relationship, and it was genuinely very funny.
1, 2, 3, glide. 1, 2, 3, glide.
Fred Cavins was a 72-year-old fencing master choreographer. He had worked with Tyrone Power, Errol Flynn. Almost anybody in Hollywood that ever handled a sword worked with Fred Cavins. He and his son Albert choreographed all the scenes on Zorro.
Well done, Senor de la Vega.
The routines were very similar to what you would see in the swashbuckling films of the 30s and 40s. And that is where a lot of the expense of the show came from. These fencing scenes would often take anywhere from 3 to 5 hours to film.
One of the things that's impressive about the way they were shot, there were some long routines without the camera stopping. They were really first class.